Welcome to Dr. Mary Travelbest's 5 Steps to Solo Travel, an episode for women like you who need a little extra support traveling the world, one woman at a time. This episode is brought to you by Sun Marketing. I've been traveling independently since 1972. Please share this podcast. In this episode, the FAQ is, are cruises safe from COVID or not? Today's destination, Long Island, New York. Today's mistake, sailing on a catamaran. And travel advice, use your airline points now or risk losing them. And now the FAQ. Are cruises safe from COVID or not? Answer. The CDC has lifted the restrictions, but that doesn't mean it's over. The reporting of additional outbreaks is still happening. Don't let that keep you from your cruise. Check the color status of your ship before you embark. The show notes have links to some helpful tips on staying safe. Follow the requirements before boarding, which include vaccinations and testing protocol. And these are all subject to change. Today's destination, Long Island, New York. I was raised on Long Island, New York, and I had an accent back then. I've worked hard to lose it, but it comes back when I visit. I also say funny words like orange and Florida. What's it like on Long Island? It's a step 1 or step 2 destination. Here are some things you may know and may not know about it. It's the longest and the largest island in the contiguous United States. Long Island extends 118 miles eastward from New York Harbor to Montauk Point. Long Island is densely populated with 8 million people in all. And along its Atlantic coast are Jones Beach State Park, Fire Island, and Montauk Point State Park at the end of the fork. As kids, my parents took us to all these places often. My mom told a story about me almost drowning in the ocean there, but everything went fine. Long Island is home to the late 1700s era Montauk Lighthouse. On the east end, the North Fork is home to wineries, and the East, South, and West Hamptons, characterized by upscale homes, trendy restaurants, and antique shops. When I grew up there, I never knew it was trendy. On Long Island, there are Kings, or Brooklyn, and Queens, plus Nassau and Suffolk counties, split into those 2 forks, north and south. As I mentioned, there's wineries, farm stands, theaters, country clubs, and well-known beaches like Jones Beach, Robert Moses, and more. Plan your day trip. Choose one central location. Then plan activities around it. See what you can, and come back again. Today's mistake, sailing on a catamaran. I rented a sailboat, a catamaran, on Mission Bay for an afternoon. I thought I was a good sailor at the time. I had finished a sailing safety course and knew a lot about the theory, but in practice, I was lousy. I invited my friends to join me on the boat, and I tipped it over and could not get it back up again. That was a disaster. Don't do what I did with a sailboat. Know your sailing and winds before you go. Today's travel advice, use your airline and hotel miles now. If you have travel points or miles on an airline, use them up. I believe that soon we will see these rewards change to a new type of value called tokens. The token economy is heading our way, and loyalty will look much different. You can donate your miles to a charity if you can. Give them to your children and grandchildren now while they still have some benefit. They are not your owned items, as they belong to the carrier. They have the right to change the rules anytime with you missing out. If you notice the long legal disclaimers on these programs, give all the rights to them, and there are no rights to members. I want to bring meaning to your travel. Send a question or travel tip to info@drmarytravelbest.com. We can connect on my website, Facebook page, group, or Instagram. Subscribe to YouTube, Twitter, or other social channels. Find 5 Steps to Solo Travel book series on Amazon. The show notes have more details for you to connect. This is Dr. Travelbest. I'm releasing 5 Steps to Solo Travel Part A audiobook on Amazon soon.